we are talking to Moses himself. Wants to tell us a little bit about God and so forth, and that is what we are here for, Moses. So, hey, you were chatting up with SR and Armin. What is going on?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Feeling all right. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, man. It's hot, but we're doing all right.
Yeah, it's Florida. But yeah, what you got for us? It says the truth of God is hidden in our lives. What?
Right. But I was gonna say, Jesus' favorite hobby is to fish, man. Fish for those that are lost and seeking.
Yeah, but, I see that. I see that. Not as funny as some of the other comments, but no, I get that. No, it's right though. It's right though. It's there. All right, what you got for us, Moses?
So, I'm just kind of going off the top, but basically, I feel led to kind of come on this show because I know it's really hard because obviously your guys' thing is, killing every possible hint or little seed of truth. But basically, I just wanted to come and share that our lives itself is sort of a manifestation of the truth of God. I wanted to ask you guys too, because it seems like the atheist community kind of you guys kind of separate yourself from, like, I guess anything that's spiritual or emotional. Like, do you guys even like consider yourselves to have feelings, or like, do you guys even feel love?
Yeah. I think those are some good things for us to jump off of. I'll go in reverse order first, because I do have a question about what you said about like God's truth, like being in our lives and stuff. Right. But yeah, I think I'll give you this. Okay, I'll give you this one, Moses, which is, I think definitely in the past there have been some individuals that have had really prominent places, publicly speaking, when it came to promoting atheism or skepticism or agnosticism or just non-religious whatever, right? That have really done a disservice to a huge part of what it means to be a person. In fact, it's funny enough, I was literally just talking about this earlier today with some buddies, and yeah, humans are emotional. And emotions are important, and personal anecdotes are important. All of these things actually really, really matter, and we should care about them. Emotions and personal anecdotes aren't good arguments. They're not good reasons to override the data and the evidence in front of us, right? But they are important aspects of being a person, right? And so, yeah, I think there have been some folks out there in the past that have been like, emotions, rah, just logic and reason. But there's also been a lot of really cool people that have done a really good job of talking about how important those things are in terms of secular humanism, skepticism, critical thinking, atheism, separation of religion and government, all that stuff, And I would just say, I tend to like those people and their points a little bit better. So yeah, I'd say, okay, maybe sure, a little bit, some people, some in the past, yeah. But I don't think that's where a lot of people are now. And I don't think that's really where kind of the movement, I guess, as whatever kind of entity that is going. But real quick, before we go any further, I want to go back to what you said first, because that was really interesting to me. You said something about how like the truth of God is manifested in like how we live our lives and stuff. I don't know what that means. How does us living our lives show the truth of God? What happens to me on a daily basis that demonstrates God's real?
Okay, all right. I'll answer that question. I do want later on. I do want to touch back on the whole emotional subject.
Yeah. I want to get Armin's thoughts on that. So yeah, we'll circle back to that for sure.
All right. So basically, as I don't even want to use the word Christian, but as somebody who believes that Jesus is the Messiah, Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life, we kind of tend to think that, we kind of look at it as some type of very religious, and we have to read this Bible and do this and do that, and then we can go to heaven or we'll be good people. But if we understand that the Bible, Christ himself, the Holy Spirit, the whole world we live in is a spiritual world. So when I say that our lives itself is a manifestation of what God is, I'm saying that our stories, our lives we're walks of this, of trying to find God, trying to understand who God is. So basically, like, how is your life a manifestation of God, right? So let me ask you this: if somebody said they don't believe in Santa, if somebody doesn't believe in ghosts, would they be up every day looking for ghosts and looking for Santa? Like,
maybe
just the fact that
Yes.
you have a podcast,
maybe.
trying to
Wait, hang on though. Do you see how somebody who could wake up every single day and spend hours and hours of their free time like searching for ghosts, even though they actively don't believe in ghosts? Could you think of any scenario whatsoever? Just quick yes or no, because I have one just right off the top of my head.
Yes. I can think of a scenario, but it wouldn't make sense to spend most of your life looking for a ghost if you just genuinely don't believe ghosts.
What if five people that were very close to you, grew up with you and your sister, your younger sister that you love and care so much,
right?
Those 5 people really fucking believed ghosts are real and they murdered your sister because of it. Could you conceive of a reason that individual might go, I'll spend every waking fucking moment of my life to ensure that never happens again to any other human being? I could.
Can I give an example? Yeah,
please jump in. Please jump in. Hang on, Moses.
So Moses, okay, imagine if your mother told you that there's a boogeyman under your bed, okay, and if you misbehave, it will one day come out and it will eat your eyes, okay? And this has traumatized you all your life, and your mom has been lying to you, right? And it has become such a deep part of your belief system. And it has ruined your life so much that now you're on a hunt to figure out if your mom has lied to you or whether or not there's actually a boogeyman under your bed to be able to, maybe cure yourself from this trauma that your mom has inflicted upon you, right? So there is no boogeyman under the bed, but you are actively now going and trying to figure out whether this boogeyman is real or not. So you going out on a hunt for this doesn't show that there's a boogeyman under the bed. Is that right?
You're right, exactly.
Okay.
What I would say.
So that's not a good reason. For there being a God.
Can I continue?
Yeah, please.
Yes, of course. Go ahead. Of course, yes.
Fables, myths, and stories, for the most part, usually stem from some type of root, right? So if my mom is telling me there's a boogeyman under my bed, there's a reason. It's either she's trying to instill a truth in me, she's trying to train me, or she's trying to instill a fear.
She might just find it convenient way to control your behavior.
Yeah.
It just might have utility for her.
Right. Let's say that really what your mom was trying to do was instill that, hey, once I tell you to go to bed, go to bed, because sleep is really good for you and it's a way to stay healthy. And as a 6-year-old, you don't really get that. Like, what if that really is the reason? Well, couldn't mom have accomplished that in a better way that's less harmful than outright lying about this boogeyman?
Well, here's the thing. The nature of a human, we're sinful, we're disobedient, and we're people that just don't like to listen. Which is why I said there's spiritual truths in the Bible.
That's not true.
The Bible,
Moses, that's not true. We're as social animals. Humans are mostly followers.
Yeah.
We don't actually. We are actually innately we have desires to follow the pack.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's always
most of us. Some of us
in the pack.
Yes, sure. That's true. We have some. Yeah, you're right. The ratio. So we call those. Hold on, Moses, those are the black sheep. That's actually serves a utility. Just like in the evolution of genes, most genes don't mutate, but some of them do, and there's some utility in that. When it comes to the evolution of cultures and society and tribes, the evolution of memes, right? It makes sense for most people, for most humans to be follower with a small percentage of a black sheep of people who rebel, just in case there are better ways of doing things, right? So there are people who rebel, but most people, their brains are wired to just follow, unquestionably.
And I agree with Armin's pushback. Hang on just a second, Moses. I agree where Armin was pushing back just a second ago, where you just made this real quick blanket judgment on all people. And we're just like, yeah, we're just evil. We're just sinful at our hearts. Like, we don't care. We don't want to work with you. Like, I really just don't think that's true. And I think that is oftentimes used as an easy way to hand wave away, you know, good legitimate objections to what religious people are saying. And because like, hey, you know what, actually I have to do this, I have to lie to you, I have to beat you, I have to say all these horrible things and make fun of you because you're just so bad otherwise, you know. I just think that's BS, man.
Yeah, actually, Moses, listen to what Elliot just said. That's very important. Okay, one of the harms of religion is the way it looks at humanity. Like the reason why humanism is so much superior to religion is the celebratory view that it has over humans, over us as human beings, right? Yeah. But religions often look at human beings as disgusting, as something worthy of shame and disgust and condemnation, and it's not helpful. I mean, it's very helpful to rulers, just like your mom in the scenario that we came up with was using this boogeyman to control you. These types of narratives are very, very helpful to people who want to rule over you, to make you feel like you don't deserve that whatever bad happens to you is because of your own actions. So it makes them less responsible for what happens to you. It also makes you more, more probable to actually listen to what they say, because they are people of God, people chosen by God, or gods themselves, or so that's the utility. But the cost of that, the benefit is that you will be able to be controlled more easily, but the cost is that you will have much lower sense of self-worth. I mean, look at how you talk about yourself. The way you're talking about you humans, that includes you, and you consider yourself to be sinful and evil. So your own sense of self-worth is being damaged because of it. But if you actually hop over to humanism or from religion, then you actually, this is a much healthier way of looking at humanity and its potential and yourself.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay,
go ahead, Moses.
But so you guys don't agree that, if you guys don't agree, then I believe we should change course. But you guys don't believe that humans, that we have, I'm not even gonna mention Satan or the devil. I'm just gonna say humans. You don't believe that in our flesh that we crave evil things and we have evil desires and wrongdoing. Like even in this conversation so far.
Hang on right there, Moses, because I think that's really good. Exactly think about the way you framed that, and think about Armin's response right there. It was one word: potential. You're saying we crave it. You're saying it's innate within us. There's nothing we can do. It will always be there. And what Armin and I are saying is, hey, we recognize that people can do some really bad things, man. But it's not something that's so innate in us that every free second that we as human beings have, we want to find a way to do these disgusting, evil things. No, it's just a potential that humans have, just like we have the potential to do all of the incredible things that all three of us know people do every day, right? So it's not this innate craving that you see from your perspective. From the humanist side, it's this is a problem that we need to make sure we put safeguards up against, which is why we go for things like critical thinking and skepticism and, so talking to experts and stuff.
Now, so I'm just going to take this back biblically. That's really what the whole story of the Garden of Eden was. We are good. We were made perfect. But that potential, that small potential, which is Satan, the serpent, created evil. And now we are all under this evil and destructive world.
So that's the problem, Moses. That's the problem, because you looking at the potential was before, and now we have lost it. We are sinful. We are disgusting. We are worthless, right? But our narrative says that we have the potential now. So we have the potential to be bad and do harm, and we have the potential to create now. It's not back when the Garden of Eden. It's right now. So when you accept that potential, with that, we could do some. Look at the defeatist attitude you have towards humans right now. That crushes our potential, because you're looking at us and you're disgusted by it. But if you look, and also you might go to the other extreme, like thinking that everybody is good all the time. But the more
that's
the logical way of looking at it is that we have the potential to be bad and we have the potential to do good. And that would be the most productive way to look at it, because it gives us agency, because it puts us in control on which direction we will go. And also which direction on this world, rather than like trying, because this, based on Christianity and Abrahamic religions, we should just give up on this world. We're like, ever since we ate the apple, it's screwed. But we have to just work for the next one. And if there is no next one, then all your calculations are wrong. And this world was the only one that we had, the only chance that we had to be happy and live prosperous lives. And with the understanding that we could be potentially bad and potentially good, then we will make better actions, make better decisions that will lead into better emotions, better feelings. You started with, do we believe in feelings? The whole point of all of this is to achieve better feelings. Like, we use logic, yes, but what's the point of using logic? Is to achieve better feelings. But go on.
I agree with you. I agree. That's what I've been saying from the beginning. But you guys are just trying to make it
not really
humans or something. That's literally what I've been saying from the beginning, right?
No,
from this whole
no, no, Moses, that's not what you have been saying from the beginning. You considered us cursed and sinful, and our good old days was in the Garden of Eden. I'm saying our good old day, there's no good old, our best days are in the future. Our best days was not in the past. Our best days in the future, because we have agency and we could be better. We're not sinful, disgusting, cursed creatures. We are actually we are amazing. I mean, look at what we have done. Look at how much humans achieved with so little.
I understand what you're saying, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I understand what you're saying. Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
What makes you so positive and believe that there's better to come in the future? Is that not a religion?
All the progress we've made
That's within you?
No, not in the slightest. No.
Look at our record.
Yeah, Moses, all we literally have to do is think about like 5 years ago. Like, that's all we have to do. Like, I don't know about you and your personal life, right? But I can tell you for a fact, 5 years ago, the technology that I'm using casually right now in my everyday life did not exist. Like 20 years ago, definitely did not. Did you know there was a period of time in which all medically necessary, okay, not just for funsies' sake, medically necessary surgery was involuntary? Did you know that? That the way that you had surgery for a really long time was a bunch of people just walked into the room with a sharp fucking object and then grabbed you and said, sorry. And then that happened. We volunteer for surgery. We plan it out now. Because we have made so much incredible progress, man. So, like, yeah, I mean, if we just project that into the future, it's very obvious to see how it could be so much better. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I very highly doubt Armin is going to say it's definitely 100% going to be like that. I definitely don't think that. And I bet Armin would probably agree with a statement like this, which is, unless we safeguard the things that have brought us so much progress today, the future will not be like that. Unless we continue to fight for the values that have allowed all of this amazing, casual, mundane awesomeness in the world around us, unless we fight for that, the future won't be like that. So I don't think this is a faith-based thing at all. I don't think this is a spiritual thing. This is just looking at the cold, hard data, baby.
Yeah, it's induction reasoning. So obviously the answers of induction would not be certain, like 100%.
Yeah, it's not
like a deductive argument. Yeah, but like, look at our record. But I mean, Moses, let me just give you our record, okay? So look at how much less violent the world has become, right? I mean, if you go look at the stats, I know it sounds like the world is violent, but this is the most peaceful, most prosperous time that we have ever lived in, if you actually compare it to what was before. Just recently, in the past few years, we managed to, with much sooner than so many people expected, we dropped to less than 10% extreme poverty around the world, sooner than most of the
That's incredible.
economists ever. Yeah, and we managed to get to, not just percentage-wise, but also total number-wise, we are at the lowest rate of extreme poverty in the world. That is an unbelievable success. And if everything goes the same way it has for the past, I don't know, 10 to 12,000 years, which is the history of civilization, unless something extreme happens, it seems like we're just going to keep going in that direction at an accelerating speed. Like, it's not just that we're getting better, but we're also getting better faster. But go on.
Right, I agree. All right, I believe in your. Okay, so from the beginning of this conversation, we both agreed that there's a potential for humans to do evil. We both agreed that.
You were more on the side of it's a guarantee, but that's okay.
Okay, the potential.
We can move forward.
Okay, we're agreeing with potential now. We both agree there's a potential. We both agree that the future is we would have a hope for the future to be better, and we both agree that you guys would say the world, or Armin just said that the world is in a better place than it has been, and literally that's what I'm coming here to say. That's what Christ is preaching, right? That there's sin.
Yeah, but there's a big problem with the message that was preached and then what actually happens on the ground, Moses. Like, I'm not here to go through every little line that supposedly Jesus said, right? Because I think if you and I are being really honest, we really don't know for sure what Jesus said, but let's just move past that, okay? Let's just say all the red letter text, definitely 100% what Jesus said. The problem is that even though when some of the believers tell me that Jesus was preaching these things that you are saying, Elliot, Armin, he says how wonderful the world could be, and that's all Jesus was really getting at. The problem is when I read his words, I hear the defeatist attitude in humanity that Armin pointed out earlier. I hear the absolute belief of depravity and the fact that there is no way we will ever change. We will, until the day we die, miss the mark in God's eyes. I see that. And not only do I see that terrible messaging from Jesus, but I see the consequences of when people live their lives supposedly in the way that Jesus said to live. I see it too much. And yes, there are good believers out there. There are people who do wonderful things and will forever be incredible pillars of their community, and they love and follow Jesus Christ. And there are fucking absolute atrocious, horrible people in that same boat. And the problem is not for the non-religious to figure out and say, oh, which way works and which doesn't. The problem is for the believer who says, this is my data, SR. This is what I point to when I tell you that Jesus Christ's message is the truth and the way and the light. Look at this. You then figure out why we can't seem to tell the difference between the horrible people that follow Jesus's message and the good people that follow Jesus's message. Why do Christians still do terrible things if supposedly once you follow Jesus, you're supposed to be a good person?
May I add something on top of that? It's also, hold on, let me add something on top of what Elliot just said. My understanding, and Elliot, let me know if that's your understanding as well, is that Jesus's kingdom is not of this earth. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Correct.
And that is the most dangerous part of that teaching. Like, that's more dangerous than when it comes to religion. People are like, oh, this religion is violent. That religion has this problematic teaching. There's nothing more dangerous than this part, the focus on another life after this one. Okay, because I've listened to your arguments. You guys have no good arguments for an afterlife, and it seems like this life is the only one we get. And any ideology that takes people's attention away from building this world to working on another is an ideology that even with the people with the best intentions, it will take their focus away onto something completely futile. and unworthy. It will base every calculation of what we should do to better our lives will come with wrong conclusions and very costly conclusions if you think that you have an eternal life that we have to live after. And logically, it would mean that we have to focus most of our attention, if not all of it, on that one. Yeah. That is absolutely dangerous to teach. And when you say that your Jesus was saying the same thing that we are, he absolutely did not. We are talking about building this world, building our lives, making it more secure, more prosperous, more free, and more happy. Again, our focus is being happy, more happy people. You started this call by dismissing our attention to feelings, but it's all about feelings, and we get the better feelings by building this world. And your Jesus wants to take our attention away from this world on a shadowy, mythical, other life that nobody has any proof for its existence. Go on, Moses.
Okay, can I intercede? I really
go on.
You're drawn out explanations, but like I feel like in order for this conversation to produce fruit, after your partner speaks, like we can't have like, you know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying, so I understand that there's audiences too, but you kind of make me forget what's on my mind. It's not fresh when you.
Gotcha, man. We got you. Nobody's expecting this. Yeah. Nobody's expecting this to be a perfect back and forth. Nobody's expecting us to figure out all the problems of humanity.
Right.
You know, on this call. But yeah, answer the question, and then we'll start to wrap this one up because we've got some other calls. But this has been really good, Moses. I appreciate you.
Before we wrap up, can we return to that love thing before? I don't want.
Yeah, let's talk about some emotions real quick. I'm happy to.
But to answer your question, the reason that there's evil Christians is because Christians are not every person who claims to be a Christian has Christ dwelling within them. That's why.
Sure, but how do you figure that out?
Christians are deceived the same way that every other religion and nation is deceived. Christians are not some type of special chosen out people. Yeah, they have the spirit of Christ.
I get that, Moses, but the problem is not for me to determine that. It's you've got to, if what you're saying is some of these people aren't real Christians, congratulations. You just tell me which ones are real and which ones aren't. But until we get there,
okay.
You know.
Okay, so let me answer this to continue to piggyback on what Armin was saying. The people who are called out, the people who are the true believers are the ones who Christ has poured his spirit out onto. So when Armin was saying the kingdom is not of this earth, it is not. It is within us. The kingdom of God is within our hearts. He dwells in our temples, right? And we are to go out into the world and build that happiness, that togetherness, that love that you've been trying. Because the way you're passionate about humans,
it's not true, Moses.
Together and building happiness. What is not true about what I'm saying?
It's not about it's not about love. I've read that book multiple times. There's nothing about love within that. It's about, if anything, it's about people just loving Jesus. It's not about spreading care. Jesus, the book that you're telling us that is promoting love is the same book that Jesus threatens you with fire if you don't love him. What kind of love is that? What kind of love is that? I read that book. That book promises that I will be thrown in the lake of fire simply for my lack of belief in Jesus. You're saying that's a book of love? That's insane. But go on.
Okay, let me understand what I'm saying. See, which is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. The Bible is a spiritual manifestation. When it talks about going through pain, when it talks about going through the fire, all this, we are in a fire right now. This world that is full of deceit, evil, and destruction. That is a physical manifestation.
That's a lie, Moses. That's a lie. Okay, either when you're God, okay, you cannot pick which part of the book is literal and which one of it is metaphorical, based on which parts you like and which ones you don't. Okay, if the book is clearly the book is clearly telling, the book that you're saying promotes love is clearly telling everybody that reads it that if you don't believe in Jesus, you would be tortured in a way that your teeth will be, we have gnashing of teeth. You will have worms eating on your eye. Okay. And don't promote this book to me as a book of love. Okay. This is a book of hate. This is a book of violence. This is a book of torture. This is a book that it's a one-way love. It's a it's a love with the fear of fire. Like it demands love, as if that love is something that could be demanded. And again, if it doesn't, Moses, if it doesn't mean the things, hold on, you want to say this is a spiritual book, and by that you're saying that it's all metaphorical, then your God sucks at communication. The best you could say about your God is that it is a God that doesn't know how to simply communicate with his creation. The worst thing you could say about your God is that it's a God that it meant exactly what it said in the Bible.
And it's terrible.
But the best defense you could have is that look at humans, how they communicate. When Elliot tells me something, I understand what he's saying. It's pretty clear. When Moses right now here is telling me something, I understand what you're trying to tell me. You're telling me your God could not even do that. That is telling me something, and I have to misunderstand it, and then Moses has to come here and explain it to me, tell me like it's like an enigma that we all have to solve. It's all metaphorical and poetic. Well, then screw it. Like your God, if your God doesn't even know how to do basic communications with people, then it's not a God worth listening to.
And the other true believers who have the Holy Spirit poured into them also disagree with you, Moses. And again, you are the one that has to figure that out, not us. Now, I know we've gone a lot of different places, Moses, and we have been doing this for 30 minutes already. I have loved this conversation. I thought this has been phenomenal, and I want you to call us back in the future, man, because there is so much more. I can just tell, man, you have so much more. And next time I'm on, when you call, okay, I will give you the first full minute, 2 minutes, whatever. You will just get to lay out your whole freaking case for whatever you want to talk about, brother, and then we will dive into it. Yeah, because I feel like you came to this honestly, and you acknowledged points when points were made, and you're willing to listen, man. And that is what I want this to be, because that's how we make freaking progress. And again, it kind of sounds like we're all in the same boat about wanting a better world. We just disagree about how to get there. So let's keep hashing it out, man. Give us a call back in the future. And yeah, thank you so much, and have a great Sunday.
Real quick.
Oh,